Today is a beautiful Thursday day, March 17th, 2022. I want to wish everybody happy St. Patrick's Day to all those who celebrate. It is a little rainy and cloudy, but nothing stops the good mood of the oncoming spring, right? Over the last few weeks, we have gotten a lot of phone calls about the immigration through adoption process. It is a very detailed, a very specific area of law. It's very technical. So, in order to help you, I have put together, me and my team have put together a blog that we have posted on our website that goes through detailed steps of immigration through adoption. I will go over the general parts of it, but because it's so specific and to every given situation, I will post the linked to the blog in the comment section. So if you want to go back and review any of the things that I'm saying now, or if you have any further questions, you can always refer to the blog. It has the forms and it has a lot of details. It's very long. Okay. But today I just am going to do a general overview to make sure that you understand that it is actually a very complicated process. Okay, so there are three ways that you can bring a child and adopt a child here to the United States. One is through the Hague process, the other one is through an orphan process, and the third one is through the family reunification process. Okay. The Hague process deals with the Hague Convention. It is an international treaty that was signed by many different countries. The signing countries to the treaty can be found online. So, if you're a US citizen and you're over the age of 24 and you want to bring over a child from a country that is a signatory to the Hague Convention, you have to go through a very specific process. Majority of the time, you will reach out to an adoption services, right? The reason being is that there's going to be two different things at play. You would have to adopt a child in the child's home country, and you would also have to go through a rigorous process here in the United States that involves not only you dealing with the immigration services, but also a home study, criminal background check. They're going to want to make sure that you can actually support the child financially. Okay. And only when all of that is done and approved, you would also be able to go to the country where the child is domiciled and complete the adoption process there. And only after that, the child would be issued a specific visa that would allow them to come back here to the United States. It is not a fast process. Adoption always takes a very, very long time, a lot of resources, a lot of patience, and a lot of, going back and forth submission of documents because of course they want to make sure that the child's best interest will be met. That is the whole point of the process. Now, there's another one called the orphan process. What does that say? If a child is from a non-Hague Convention country, right, and the child has lost both parents or has one surviving parent who's unwilling, unable to take care of the child, then the child can be adopted, right, and then brought here to the United States, adopted here, and then you can file a immigration form in order to legalize the child here. It is important to note that there's an age requirement to go through the adoption process. It is 24, 25 years old, depending on which process you are going through. Another important part of it is that if you're legally married, both you and your spouse would have to go through the process. You would, to have background checks. Both of you have to sign the application and actively participate in the process. Another important part to remember is that if you are married legally here in the United States, both you and your spouse will have to show that you have legal status here in the United States, in addition to the ability to financially provide for the child and criminal background checks, which both of you will have to undergo. Okay, so this is the second portion. And again, I just want to make sure that if you want to know details, I will be posting a link to the blog here in the comment sections where you can refer to specific forms, age requirements, and step-by-step process that needs to be taken. Okay, the last, of course, certainly not least, and the one that we have the most inquiries about is the family reunification process. So let's say you want to adopt a child and bring the child over here. This is the most common one for kids who are older, teenagers, preteens, and so on and so forth. So let's say a lot of it comes up in the aspect of family, distant family members. Let's say you have a niece somewhere and you want to adopt her, bring her here to the United States. First of all, you have to go to the child's domicile, country of domicile, and you have to get either adopt the child there or have legal custody of the child. You have to have that for 2 years before you can start the process of bringing them here. But another important thing is that you have to live with the child, right? Well, that most of the time means you have to share a common house for 2 years before you can start the immigration process for the child. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't leave. You can do it in pieces. You can do 4 months here, 5 months here, 6 months here, but you have to accumulate the 2 years. There's also an age requirement for the adoption. It has to happen before the child's 16th birthday or the 18th birthday if there's a sibling exception. If you have met the 2-year legal custody and living arrangement requirement, you can then bring the child here through the family reunification process, which is the same process you would use for your biological child, your stepchild, and your spouses, your parents, right? So that process starts with the I-130 filing. That is the process that most people inquire most of the time about. The other two processes also exist. They do require a lot of planning and usually are rather time consuming, but they're out there for you to consider if you want to. Now, you have to understand, and this comes up a lot, that we can only help you with the immigration portion of the process. We do not have jurisdiction, nor do we have the qualifications, nor can we actually do anything for the child in their home, right? So if the child is any country, let's say Ukraine, India, China, the Caribbean, doesn't matter. The adoption of the child in that home country has to happen under the laws of that country in their home. So you most likely would need to seek the help of the courts or the legal system in the home country of the child. So that is very, very important to remember. And most people are surprised when they hear how complicated the process is. All right. So that is your general overview. And again, if you have any more specific questions, you can either schedule consultations, talk to me or one of the other attorneys of the firm. You can refer to the blog, and if you have any more questions, we can then speak afterwards. That's the main piece of entertainment for the day, but I also did want to mention that USCIS has designated Afghanistan for TPS, temporary protective status. So if there's any citizens of Afghanistan now currently in the United States and you have any questions about how the process works, what to do, and so on and so forth, we are happy to answer any questions and help you with the process. I think that would be it for today. There's a lot of information to decipher. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Other than that, please stay tuned for the next episode next Thursday at 10:30. Thank you and have a great day.